How's it going out there? Welcome from H2TechVideos. Today I'm going to be going over the pros and cons of the Galaxy Note 8-inch. The question is it worth it or is it a waste? Let's jump right in and let's find out. Alright, so first of all, I always go over the pros first. And one of the biggest pros about this tablet that no other tablet can boast about, well, except for a tiny small amount, is the fact that it has an onboard stylus. Okay, so it comes with a stylus. And there's a couple of pros that I want to mention about this. The first thing is that the stylus has its own slot. So it fits right there in the corner. And, you know, that's a big deal because oftentimes if you buy a tablet and you buy a stylus separate for it, it's so hard to keep track of it because you lose it. Like I used to always keep my stylus in my pocket, and man, I would lose it so much, and I'd be so frustrated having to continue to buy it over and over and over again. So just the fact that it has the stylus and it has a slot for it is a great pro, because you never have to worry about really losing it. As long as you just pop it right back in there when you finish, then you're good to go. So that's the first big thing. The second thing is the fact that the stylus has such a fine point on the end of it. Most styluses that you purchase, for example, let me show you this one. This is probably one of the best styluses you'll find on the market, and it's by Bamboo. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Making a mess here. Let's fix it up here. So this stylus right here is a generic stylus you can get to work with an iPad or just about any tablet. But what's the difference here? The tip. When you try to write with this, it's frustrating because you can't write small because the tip is rounded, because it has to mimic like touch. Okay, like for example, like your finger when you touch the screen. But with this tablet, the stylus has a fine point on it. So, for example, S Note, which comes with it, is a great app that you can use to take notes. Let's create a note here. And now I can write, or I can write smaller. I can even put my whole palm on here and still write, because there's actually a feature where you can make it so that when your palm or your fingers on there, it won't respond to it. So they've really, you know, targeted a lot of the issues that other tablets have had, because people, I feel like there's a big majority of people that actually want to be able to write and take actual notes, or you want to type a little bit, you want to write a little bit, like when you take notes on an actual sheet of paper. So I don't want to be, you know, talk too much about this, but I do want to share that it's huge being able to have this onboard stylus, and the fact that it is a thin tip allows you to really write and do a lot with your notes. So anyway, that's a huge pro for this tablet, and probably one of the biggest differentiators between this and a lot of the other 8-inch tablets. It's one of the only 8-inch tablets in the market, but all the 7-inch tablets still don't have anything that really competes in terms of a stylus. So this works, you know, for artistic purposes, for productivity, and just one more thing to share. If you hold the button and you press down the screen, you can actually take a picture of your screen, and you can actually, you know, crop down what's on the screen, and you could even, you know, take notes. Like, let me show you, this is a bad page to do it on, but let me just show you another page, and then we're going to jump back to the other pros and cons there. I'm going to press the button and tap the screen. It's going to take a picture, and then watch, I can actually, you know, circle this. Let's move that here. Let's get rid of all of that. Let's see, I want this to be bigger, and I want to get rid of this whole bottom row. So you can do this on any screen. You can even take a picture of a web page. And what I've even found myself doing, I'm going to cancel that. I'm not going to save that. I've also found myself reading, because I do have the Kindle app on here. I'll read a book, and I'll specifically take a picture of a page, and I'll actually highlight in the page, because you can make even better notes. For example, let's do Think and Grow Rich here. So you can actually, you know, take a picture of that page, We can switch this. I already have a highlighter preset, and I could highlight this whole first top right here. I could highlight this last word here. You know, I could make some notes. Probably want to make it a little smaller, right? You know, important. So, you know, I really want to emphasize how large of a pro it is that you have this pen, because it adds so much extra functionality that you normally wouldn't have on a 7-inch or 8-inch tablet. Even the new Galaxy Tab 3s that come out, you can take a picture of the screen, but you can't sit and edit the picture like in this detail. So the Stylus, I mean, I have to give 10, 11, I have to give a lot of points for the fact that this Stylus works so well, because it really is going to add a lot to your productivity and what you can use this for. So anyway, that's one of the biggest pros. Another big pro is you have the multitasking, or what's called multi-view, which is a new feature that will actually allow you to have 2 windows open at once, or 2 apps. Now, it's only certain apps, it's not all the apps, but for example, I could have Chrome open, and then I can also say, hey, you know what, I want to have my calendar open as well. So at the bottom, I can have my calendar working, and I can still be online and surfing websites. And then you can also adjust how large this window is, if you want it to be this big, or if you want it to be bigger. You know, turn it sideways, it's also a great complement as well. So I could, you know, be over about this far and still search the internet. And let's say, you know what, okay, I don't want to use the internet, but I do want to bring a note. Or actually, how about this? Bring a note over, and at the same time, you're also searching the internet. So you're searching the internet, and then you're trying to type up some notes about what you found. So this is another really awesome feature I was excited about when I chose to get this tablet, because I'm so big on multitasking. I'm constantly doing 2 things at once, and this tablet really allows you to do it. Now, I wouldn't call this next comment a con, but what I would say is I hope they expand these apps, because I want to do so many more than just these couple. You know, I want to be able to put any app side by side, and that's what they're still working on. But nonetheless, you could also be watching a movie. They also have pop-up play, which is you could put a movie on, only with certain apps, of course, but you could have the movie floating around while you're doing other things on the screen. So the multi-view, or I believe it's called multi-window, that feature really brings out a lot that you can do in terms of multitasking and just really taking full advantage of the tablet. I'm going to shoot through the next couple, because I feel like those were the really biggest pros that I wanted to point out, and the rest are also good things, but those are kind of like the biggest. So the memory is expandable. You can put up to a 64 gigabyte micro SD card in there to expand the storage, more movies, music, apps, photos, whatever. Battery life is awesome. This thing usually will last me a couple of days. I normally don't have to charge it every day, so that's really awesome. I don't particularly have to worry a lot about the battery. Unless you're doing continuous use for hours and hours, it tends to last pretty long. It's also awesome for reading, and I'll have the Kindle app on there as I showed you guys, so you can read. You can do the highlighting. You know, I think it's a great size for reading. Really bright screen. The screen is actually a WXGA 720p screen, so obviously HD screen. It's not 1080. That obviously would have made it even more amazing, but the 720 is still really good. And if you can get yourself a nice HD background, then that just also complements the size as well, and the screen quality. It does have some great note-taking abilities. It will come with S Note as well as A Note HD, and those are 2 great note apps that let you take full advantage of using the pen. Stylus as well, or the S Pen, I believe as it's called. Don't quote me on that. So I use those apps a lot just for productivity and taking notes for certain things. Very light. It's very light, you know, it feels good in the hand. I even found a special case that your hand slides through this little slip in the back and you can hold it kind of like this. I didn't put it on right now because I just wanted to be able to just demonstrate what it looks like, you know, when it's out of the box there. Also, it has a bunch of extra features. For example, the IR blaster, which will allow you to it'll allow you to use it as a universal remote for your TV. I did run into a couple of problems with the universal remote. For example, on this TV, the TV in my room, I don't use a cable box, and so it didn't really set up that well if you didn't have some type of cable service or cable box. That was probably my only gripe with it, but other than that, it is awesome that you can control your TV with it. So those are the main pros that I did want to point out. It does have also Bluetooth 4.0. The front camera is 1.3 megapixel. Rear camera is 5 megapixels. So you got really, you know, good cameras on there as well. It will come stock with Android 4.1 Jelly Bean. It does have built-in GPS. The website also on BestBuy.com, it says that it is Adobe Flash compatible. I did have to play with that a little bit, so don't fully get too super excited about that, but I was able to play some Flash stuff on there, so definitely good. It does also, this is another pro I did forget, it does come with Polaris Office, which is basically a Word, Excel, and PowerPoint type program, so you don't have to pay any extra money to be able to take advantage of those features in terms of wanting to type a document or edit a document or a spreadsheet or a PowerPoint. So again, those are the main pros. Let me jump to the quick cons, and there's not that many. Let me just put that right out there. The first thing is, you know, the price. You know, without being able to play with this, you know, just buying it, I thought originally the price was going to come more so closer to $350 or maybe even $3. Again, it's packed with a lot of features, so I get why they were able to charge so much. I kind of wish it was a little bit cheaper. But nonetheless, I've been very satisfied with it. Whenever I buy a product, I always say, if this thing doesn't wow me, I'm going to bring it back. And so I had a 60-day return policy, and I was compelled enough to keep it, and I'm very happy with that decision. So I feel like at some point, actually, take that back, this week, and I don't know how long it'll be this price, but it is on sale for $379 at Best Buy. So this week ends, I'm not sure when you watch this video that sale could be over, or it could be even cheaper. Hopefully it's cheaper by the time you watch the video, but nonetheless, the price, that was a little tough to get over, but satisfied nonetheless with it. The next con, which is not a super con, but I feel like it was really plain in design. You know, it's very just simple, no frills. You know, they definitely tried to mimic it to look like the Galaxy S3, and nothing wrong with that. I don't know though. I wish they had done a little bit more with the design. For example, if you've seen the new Nexus 7, I love the backing that they've added to that, and they've made it look a little bit more appealing. So I think looks important. That obviously is a preference thing. This is also available in brown. I don't know, maybe if I got the brown one, maybe that wouldn't have been such a big deal, but the white just ended up being really plain, and I wasn't really happy with that. But originally, when it first came out, it was only available in white, I believe, so, you know, it's all good. Anyway, so the big question is, worth it or waste? And if I haven't made it clear already, this is definitely a worth it. Woo! This tablet is definitely worth buying. It's one of the best mid-range tablets on the market. A lot of the other 7 and 8 inch tablets, not too many 8 inches, but a lot of the 7 inches still don't match up to what this tablet can do. Obviously, the big competitor out there would be the iPad mini, which I do happen to have one right here, just so you can see the difference in the size. And the Note is bigger, you know. So as you notice, the screen You know what I'm saying? You got a way larger screen. Screen does look better on the Note, and I think overall you're gonna really be satisfied. You're gonna really enjoy this Note tablet because it's just packed. You get so much for that price. And you know, I always tell people, if you're not satisfied, return it. Get something else. Most stores will give you a good return policy. Always check. Some stores do charge a restocking fee, but outside of that restocking fee, you usually have 14 days or 30 days to try it out. And if you don't like it, just return it and just say, you know what, it didn't meet my expectation. I want something better. And normally they will honor that. So anyway, guys, I hope you did find this helpful. Make sure you like the video if you did find it helpful. Subscribe to H2TechVideos and keep watching. And have a good one.